Yo, what is going on? David, the camera guy, jmavsinc, back again with another video. And today, we're going to be talking about my first cinema camera. We're going to be talking about cinema cameras, and this is my first cinema camera that I ever bought with my own money. It's the Zcam E2. Why did I pick up this camera? Because I think it was time to upgrade my cinematography work just a bit, and I wanted something along the lines of the C200, along with the Red, along with the FS9, and it was like I had no way to buy any of these cameras, and I can't rent these cameras because I'm from the Bahamas and we don't have that industry down here. But I saw the Zcam E2 show it off at NAB. It was NAB last year. That was 2018. I saw it show it off and it piqued my interest. I didn't really follow up on it until about a few months later when more people started to talk about it and it started to ship. But I realized that you can pick up the cinema camera for less than $2,000. I was dumbfounded. I was like, nah, this is too good. This is too good to be true. This can't be real. Zcam being a fairly new company, it was like, do I really want to spend $2,000 on a camera from a company that just came out? And I haven't really seen none of my favorite creators like really talking about the camera. So I ended up waiting it out a bit, and I joined a Facebook group, Zcam E2 on Facebook, and that's where I really got the motivation to go and pull the trigger and buy this camera. When you get the camera, it comes just with the brain. That's the brain in the middle of this. There's a lot going on right now because I have this inside a cage with all my rigs and different stuff. It doesn't come with a monitor, so you have to get an external monitor. But the good thing about this is that I can attach my iPad Mini 4 to this, and I can control the camera from my iPad Mini 4 with the Zcam app that's available in iOS and Android. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later when I dive into what all is in this rig. I purchased the Zcam E2. I've been shooting a lot of stuff recently with it. I love it. It's definitely one of my best buys for 2019. I can't stress how much this has changed the way that I shoot, because I've been shooting on Sony for a while now, for the last 2-3 years, between Sony and Canon, predominantly on Sony cameras. It's like I'm growing with this company because every day I go and I check this group and there's some update about the camera. They actually came out with their Super 35 F6 and F8 models, which is actually going to be Super 35 full frame, where you could attach EF mount, PL mount, Micro Four Thirds mount, and they just announced that it's going to be an E-mount adapter that's going to be available for the flagship cameras. Now hopefully that's available for this E2, because I do have Sony glass right now and I would love to use my Sony lenses on this camera. The camera is very lightweight, it's very small, and it's very portable. When you rig it up, you can get it to be a gimbal runner, you could get it to be a handheld runner, you could get it to be a full-on cinematography. There's so much different rigs that I've seen people build with this camera. Now we're gonna jump in on what actually is on my Zcam E2. So as you can see here, the first thing I got is the monitor. For the monitor I'm using, it's my iPad Mini 4. For the iPad Mini 4, that's attached with the cage rig that I got off Amazon, attached to the small rig NATO rail clamp monitor holder. I think it's a small rig NATO clamp part. I got this NATO rail red handle. I got the monitor and the handle on one NATO rail. The small rig cage is what is around the whole body. I have another small rig SSD holder, universal SSD holder, which is holding the SanDisk SSD mount that I talked about in some of my best SSDs for video editing, and you can check that up in the card above there. This allows me to record ProRes straight to this SSD, take it out, put it in my computer, and edit straight off that. So I can do up to ProRes in 4K 60. I can do 120 frames in 4K in H.265. I can do 160 frames in 4K in H.265. But I love shooting in ProRes because you get 10-bit internal recording with this camera. And I have some NATO rails so that my follow focus, my manual follow focus, is attached. And I also have a juice box V-mount battery. Where I'm getting this V-mount power is from an actual user of the Zcam that's in the Facebook group. He created this V-mount adapter that allows me to give this some V-mount power, so I could just run, shoot with this camera forever. It's crazy. So if you go into the app in the Zcam camera, you can see that I have full control over the iPhone. I can fully use the touchscreen to check to see what's going on. So I can hit record. I'm just gonna start recording from the iPod. I said iPhone earlier. I can go in and I can change my settings. You can see that I'm shooting in ProRes 422 proxy so that I can view my files actually on the iPad when I'm done shooting. I am shooting in 4K, and I can change the resolution to any of these from Cinema 4K down to 1080p. It also has 240 frames in 1080p. 240 frames, that's crazy. I have variable frame rate, so I can change this up to 75 frames per second. So I can get some clean slow motion. The image profiles, you have Rec 709, you have Z-Log, you have flat, and you have hybrid log gamma. Now I love to use Z-Log because I love to push my grades, and this is the closest thing that reminds me of S-Log 2. So I just always use Z-Log 2 with this. But I have used Rec 709, and the color correction out of this camera using Rec 709 is so minimal because it looks so amazing straight out of the gate. Moving on, you can see you have your sharpness. You can change your video encoder, so I can go from H.264 to ProRes Proxy, ProRes 22LT, ProRes 422, and I think I can go up to ProRes HQ. My camera isn't using autofocus right now. The autofocus isn't as good yet, but it will be. Your LUTs, you can add custom LUTs that are already built in so that you can see how you're shooting. I'm already accustomed to shooting flat, so it's not really a big deal for me. When you go to your assist tools, you have your zebras, your peaking, your monochrome, center mark, frame line, grip display. And I really just only use peaking because I can adjust and fine tune what's in focus from what's not in focus. Moving to the back of the E2, we have your different ports. We have an Ethernet port, we have a USB-C port, we have an XLR port, we have a VGA port, I think. You have your remote port for your external remote thing, which I have to the front here that I love to use. And I think it's DC power to the bottom. And you also have Wi-Fi. I have the antenna in the house. You also have Wi-Fi so that you can use it to connect if you want to use your phone. And finally, to top it all off, the lens that I'm using with the Zcam E2 is, of course, the Sigma 35 1.8 EF mount with the Carmelite, I think that's the right name, Carmelite autofocus speed booster, and it does reduce the quality just a bit, but I can live with it because it does come out tack sharp. And this is the setup that I've been running with my Zcam E2, my first cinema camera. If you guys want to check this camera, I'm going to leave a link in the description where you can check this out on B&H or Amazon. Like I say, this is my first review on the Zcam E2. I'll have more videos. Most of the videos professionally done that's going to be on this channel outside of my Sony a7 III is going to be done on this E2. So make sure to look out for that. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment below if you're a Zcam user or if you're interested in using a Zcam, or just leave a comment on whatever camera system that you are using right now. I'm David, the Camera Guy, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one.